Good evening, agents. Wing Commander Montgomery Fortescue here, Supernatural Defense Division. Tonight's briefing concerns one of the oldest entities catalogued in our files, older than Christianity, older than the Empire itself. Designation, Djinn, third level fire entity. The interview you're about to hear was conducted personally by yours truly, under sealed authority from the French government and the League of Esoteric Studies. It took place in a containment chamber beneath the old monastery of St. Florian, where the air still smells faintly of burnt myrrh and terror. Consider this both a historical record and a warning. To understand what we encountered, you must first know what a Djinn is. Forget the bedtime tales of genies in lamps granting wishes to wide-eyed children. That's propaganda and an ancient spirit they are, repackaged, sort of for polite society. The word Djinn comes from the Arabic jan, meaning hidden. They are beings made of smokeless fires, sentient plasma if you like, born before humanity took its first breath. The Creator forged them to roam freely, proud, beautiful, and powerful, but pride, dear agents, is a fragile thing. When man was created from clay, the Djinn were commanded to bow before them. Well, some obeyed, others, most notably their general, Iblis, refused. That refusal, legend says, sparked the first rebellion in existence, and from that moment onward, fire and clay have been at war. Our archives divide Djinn into 5 known tiers. Level 1, minor tricksters, shadow spirits that whisper from mirrors. Level 2, tempters and illusionists. Level 3, sentient entities capable of shape-shifting, pyrokinesis and independent reason. And that third one was our guest. Anything above level 3 we do not summon, we sort of pray to avoid. The chamber was circular, 10 feet of warded stone, and at its centre a circle of salt, silver and saffron. Inside it the Djinn manifested, not in a puff of smoke, but in a column of heat that distorted the air like summer haze. He settled into a form vaguely human, but never still. His outline shimmered as though his skin were made of ash and flame. When he spoke, the walls vibrated. I asked him his name. He laughed, a sound like a burning forest, and said, "You may call me what your tongue can bear, Commander." Charming. He told me he was born before the first city was built, that he once soared across the deserts commanding the winds. And then he said something that chilled me. We were beautiful until you arrived, you clay things, small gods of the dirt. He described the fall of his kind, the schism that followed, and how humanity learned to trap them, binding symbols, lead seals, brass lamps. Every time you summon us, he said, you rip a piece from the old fire, you take what should not be taken, and you call it magic. He smiled when he said magic. It was not a pleasant smile. He spoke of centuries of servitude, kings, priests, even peasants who learned a few syllables of binding script, each one believing they were masters. He said, "For every wish I granted, a star dimmed. For every mortal desire, another chain around my throat. Imagine it, agents. Beings of cosmic flame reduced to conjuring gold, love potions and revenge on neighbours. If hell has humour, well, that must be it." But our Djinn was patient. He waited until one careless summoner faltered, until a single sigil smudged, and then fire. He burned his way to freedom and left nothing but glass where stone had once stood. After recounting his escape, the Djinn fell quiet. The heat in the room subsided. His voice became almost weary. He said, "Freedom was a sweet wine that soured quickly. I destroyed him, and yet I remain chained to anger, to memory. Fire consumes itself when there's nothing left to burn." He told me he had wandered the deserts for centuries, sometimes physical, sometimes visible, sometimes not. He'd seen empires rise and crumble into sand. He'd whispered inspiration into poets and madness into bloody kings. And then, eventually, he grew tired of his own wrath. Even fire, he said, learns silence. When I asked him why he agreed to speak to me, he laughed again, softer this time. "Because your kind keeps repeating your mistakes. Pride, dominion, control. You study the unseen as if it were a caged animal. Be careful, Commander. One day the cage door will swing the other way." I asked one final question. "Do you still serve Iblis?" He smiled, wide, a terrible, magnificent smile. "I serve the flame, Commander, and the flame serves no one." Moments later, the temperature in the chamber spiked. The circle flared gold and then white. The Djinn dissolved into heat and light, leaving only scorch marks and the smell of frankincense. Containment complete, but not closure. We tested the wards, they were intact, yet for 3 nights afterwards, every light in the facility flickered at precisely the same time, 2:17 AM. Coincidence? Perhaps. But I still keep the containment circle drawn in chalk beneath my desk, just in case. So what did we learn, agents? That ancient power does not fade, it waits. That servitude breeds resentment, even in fire. And that knowledge, however noble, is never free. If you ever encounter a whisper promising power, wealth, or love in exchange for a single word, remember this briefing. The Djinn are not devils, nor angels. They are the forgotten firstborn of creation, and they remember every slight. As for me, I prefer my lamps unpolished. End of transmission. Wing Commander Montgomery Fortescue signing off. And please remember, check out more of our videos on this briefings channel for your own edification and education. Thank you.